Hey guys, Ralph here. Welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on this thrilling Thursday here in Connecticut. Life's good, campers. Life is good. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Doc, a trip down memory lane. Guys, this guy's a gift that just keeps on giving. Dion sent this to me, and this just opened the floodgates of Doc memories for me. And I want to share them with you. And Dion had a similar story. That's why he sent it my way. Anyway, let's see what we got. Like yesterday, I did practice a lot in the morning. And hey, sometimes when you come back, a couple hours later, you're a little sluggish. You're in between, building up the muscle that was broken down and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see what we got. All right, then we'll talk about that. Overshot it. Okay, now we got that out of the way. So, to you young guys, this is going to make no sense at all. This is not even part of your frame of reference. You older guys are just going to shake your head and go, oh yeah, I remember it well. Anyway, so back in the day, we had what were called records. They're not CDs, they're not on YouTube. They're not nothing. They're these Neanderthal slabs of vinyl that had grooves in it that when you took an electric needle, okay, that was scraped across the grooves, you could hear the sound. Now, that's a very crude way of putting it. But those grooves, guys, would literally wear out. And I just wore out every Doc album, and this is the Brass Roots album that I'm talking about. Now, the Soul and Inspiration album, I mean all of them. It got to a point, guys, literally, I would put my headphones on so my parents wouldn't know what it was like, because they complained because they didn't want to hear Love Story again. But it got to a point where the grooves were so worn down, the needle had no friction, and it would just slide across the record. And I had to throw it out. There's nothing left. Okay, I take the album cover, tape it up on my wall in my room, throw the record out. Now, unlike today, you can't just go online and get some vintage record, and Amazon Prime will have it to your door tomorrow. That's not the way it works. If you couldn't get it at the record store, many times the record was out of print, and too bad, you had it. Well, that's what happened with all my Doc records. They've gone to visit the baby Jesus. I went to Catholic school, sorry. But anyway, this specific Come Sweet Death / Love Story, the theme to Love Story. Now, Love Story was a movie that was box office bonanza, very popular, and Academy Awards and all this sort of stuff. And the theme was very popular. It's pop tune. It was Crest the Baby type thing, very tear-jerking and all that. But Doc did a very interesting arrangement of it. Now, it started off, and it's down below, so you're going to get it. Okay? It started off with a chorale type thing, almost sort of a commercial fusion type thing. And then it morphed into a sort of a little brass quintet type of feel, where Doc is playing trumpet and piccolo on top of it, and there's some tuba and all this sort of stuff. And then full orchestra gets into this schmaltzy, where do I begin to tell the story? Okay. So anyway, and that is all Caress the Baby, with, on different choruses and everything. Doc just makes it soar into the upper register. But here's the kicker, man. And this is why it's such a trip down memory lane. Okay? Now, at about 4.5 minutes to 5 minutes, there is a cadenza at the end that is extraordinary. Not very high, okay? Doc was probably not the real screamer then that we saw later on, but great chops. But anyway, I mean, it was straight out of the Arbin book. I fell in love with that. And even though I didn't literally transcribe it, I noodled around and I learned every freaking note. Now, at the time, and I remember, I was playing a silver Getzen Eterna Severinsen model and played the 7C mouthpiece that came in the package. Now, it was not a Bach. It was a Getzen 7C mouthpiece that my teacher, who was a big Bach guy, said it was closer to a 10.5C. And he wanted me to change to a 3C or a 2C or a 1C because I had such strong chops I can handle it. Now, I don't want to get into that. But guys, this is 16 years old. I'm fighting that freaking battle. Right? And I have been my whole life. I mean, just ridiculous. And I said, well, what's wrong with my tone? He said, nothing. Your tone's beautiful. But, you know, if you can go down lower. I said, what do you mean? And he gives me a 3C. I couldn't play a high C. And I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, boss. Well, you grow into it. Look, Mr. Torrey, God bless you. I'm not doing it. And I came this close. I was such a pain in the ass at that time. I came this close to tell him, look, you can't do a fraction of what Doc does. This close, but I didn't. He was a friend of the family. Both my parents went to New England Conservatory with him, and both my parents were music teachers, so I refrained. Okay? But anyway, I had this cadenza cold, including the E at the end. Okay? Now, E was my top note. E was my top note. It wasn't a great one. But with that mouthpiece and the Getzen, the trumpet and everything, I sound pretty darn good on it. Guys, and I took that thing out everywhere. Everywhere. I would play it at football games, I would just play it everywhere. And everybody just stopped and listened. And they'd be talking behind my back. And we had all these, a whole litany of different competitions, local competitions for young people that, you know, you get $200 and a gift certificate, stuff like this. I nuked them all. Now, I never played that as a competition solo. But what I would do, I was go in my practice room and all the other trumpet players and the violin players and everybody just milling about practicing. And I go in the other room and I'd nail that sucker to the wall. I came out and they were all scared to death. I won. I won before I even played a note. And then I'd go in and I'd play Haydn Concerto or something like that. Western Maine competitions, same thing. All-state auditions, I'll play. I hear that in the other room, and I swear I could hear the trumpet cases closing as they left. I'm telling you, I was a pain in the ass. I really was. But, hey, me and Doc, I'm telling you, before there was Vacchiano, before there was Maynard, before there was Maurice, it was me and Doc. And I went to New York City, 18 years old, just fell off the turnip truck, man. They just kicked me off the turnip truck on Broadway. And I got my Arbin book and my Getzen Eterna Severinsen model trumpet. And I was going to out-practice the world. I was going to be the best trumpet player. Okay, but Doc, man. Anyway, that's the trip down memory lane. I'm sorry to bore you, but when Dion sent this to me, I gave him a little synopsis about what that tune meant to me, and he says, "Right back at you, brother." He has a story of his own. So, if any of you have something along those lines and you want to leave them in the comments, please do. But enjoy Doc. Doc, Perico did said something very interesting the other day. He sent me a clip of Doc. And if you have ever been to a Doc concert or at a Pops concert in Minnesota or whatever, or every single thing he played was a monster. Was a monster. It's Herculean. Every single arrangement he played was a ball buster, man. He never did he take a night off, guys. He never took a piece off. Even this, a silly little, basically a cover tune. You'll see what he does to it. He just turns it into a virtuosi concerti. Unbelievable. God bless him. God bless him. Me and Doc, baby, wore that sucker out. Enjoy. Love you all.